The double angle formulas. Today we're going to talk about half angle formulas, and you should have already written these down. Okay, once again, you're not going to be expected to memorize these. You're going to actually be able to use a note card on your test, and we'll talk more about that later. But the biggest thing I want you to understand here is that there is a plus and a minus. And where that plus or minus comes into play is where the angle is actually located. Okay, and so we'll take that into account when we find our answers. Okay, but the plus or minus are with both sine, cosine, and are with all three, sine, cosine, and tangent. So let's go ahead and look at this. It says find the exact value of cosine of 112.5. Now exact value, if you remember, means no decimals. So I can't just type this into my calculator and get an answer. Okay, once again, if I use the sum and difference formulas, I can't add two angles together to get 112.5. So my only other option is to use a half angle formula. And so what do I take half of to get 112.5? $225. Okay, and how do I get that? Basically, you just double 112.5. And so I'm going to go ahead and use my half angle formula for cosine. And so the half angle formula for cosine, we'll go ahead and take care of the plus or minus in a little bit. Okay? But that was defined as being 1, was it plus or minus? For cosine?
Yes.
Plus. So 1 plus cosine of 225 divided by 2. And so, like I said, we'll take care of the plus or minus right now. I want you to tell me, where is 112.5 degrees? What quadrant? 2. So that's right here in this quadrant right here is where that 112.5. In quadrant 2, is cosine positive or negative? Cosine is what? Negative. So really here, my answer here is going to be negative. So do you see how that works? You have to locate where the angle is and then determine if it's a positive or a negative value. And so now all we have to do is plug in what cosine of 225 is. And what is cosine of 225 using your nifty little blue sheet? Cosine of 225? Negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so now I just need to simplify things a little bit. Basically, I need to get this down to one numerator, one denominator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a positive. No, they don't. Okay, what I need to do now is simplify my numerator here. So I'm going to multiply this by 2 over 2. Okay. So really, I end up having on the top 2 plus root 2 over 2. On the bottom, what do you have? You still have your 2. One of the things you can do is combine those 2's. So really, I now have negative 2 plus root 2 over what? 4. And then last but not least, my final answer will be negative root 2 plus root 2 divided by what number? 2. Very good. Why is it 2 and not 4? Because the square root of 4 is in fact 2. So essentially what we did with this square root is we did this. Okay? That's what we did in moving from the green to the yellow. Okay? Questions? Yes, you can have the double square roots, and you probably will on these half angle formulas. Okay, we're going to look at 2 more of these, and then we're going to be done with this section. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. It says find the exact value of sine of 75. Okay. So I know that I get sine of what divided by 2? 150. Okay, I know it's going to be a plus or minus, and I'll take care of that in a little bit. So it's going to be 1 minus cosine of 150, all divided by 2. Now, in order to determine where it's plus or minus, I need to look at this angle right here. What quadrant is 75 in? 1. And in quadrant 1, I know that everything is positive. All right, so let's go ahead and calculate. What is cosine of 250 or cosine of 150? Sorry. So negative root 3 over 2. So once again, I'm going to have to go through kind of the same simplification steps that I just got done doing on that previous slide. So I'm going to go ahead and change those two sides. I'm going to get a common denominator right here of 2. So that will equal 2 plus root 3 over 2 over 2. Now some of you might be already recognizing kind of what the answer would be, and you could probably jump to that right now, and that's fine. We're going to go through the steps again. Remember, I can combine these two into one denominator, and that one denominator would be what, folks? 4. And what will my final answer of all be? Good job. There you go. Okay. Questions on this? Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just basically using the formulas. We've got one more to look at and we're done. Here we go. Find the exact value of tangent of 7 pi over 12. So the easiest way to do this, let's convert this to degrees. Okay, remember the easy way to convert this to degrees is put in 180 for pi. So really, in terms of degrees, what would 7 pi over 12 be? 105 degrees. Okay, so I'm looking for tangent of 105. So if I'm going to use a half angle formula, what angle do I take half of to get 210? Good. Now with tangent, there are how many different choices? 3. Okay, so we need to pick which of the 3 do we want to do.
First.
I might do that second one. Okay, because the quantity's in the top and not the bottom. Okay, if the quantity's in the bottom, I'm going to have fun trying simplifying that. So let's go ahead and do the 1 minus cosine divided by sine. So 1 minus cosine of 210 divided by sine of 210. What's cosine of 210?
Negative.
What is sine of 210? Negative 1/2. So do you see kind of why I chose that? Because now whatever answer I get, I'm just going to divide it by a negative 1/2. Okay, it keeps the square roots out of it. The reason why I didn't pick the third one is because that quantity would have been in the bottom. So it could have gotten kind of messy. So here I'm going to do this. And it's just kind of one of those trial and error things. You kind of see what works and what doesn't. So on the top I get 2 plus root 3 over 2. And I'm going to divide that by negative 1/2. What do you notice? Yeah, they both have a denominator, and the denominator is the same. So you can cancel those, really. So if you notice, basically I'm left with 2 plus root 3 divided by negative 1. So negative 2 plus root 3 will be your answer. Or you could answer negative 2 minus root 3. And there you go. Okay. So that one actually worked out really nice. Okay, so that's the half angle formulas in a nutshell. I have a few problems I need you to add, not many. Okay, 7 problems I need you to add to this section 5.5. You will turn this in. Okay, those of you that are doing one act, well actually everybody will turn it in Thursday at the start of class. Okay, so like right before you take your test.